How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to The Big Thing. We're live once again. We've been doing these shows live. We do some on Monday. We do some on Thursday. I think the Monday will become a little bit more regular. The Thursday kind of from here to there. But we got some stuff, man. We got some stuff. Taika Waititi. He has been loved by many. His last Thor movie, not so much. And there's a rumor now that the director of Ragnarok, the director of Love and Thunder, is going to be gone. Not doing Thor 5. There's a lot of people who think that might be a good move. Some people who go, wait, what are you talking about? It's Taika. He did some good stuff. Why isn't he doing it? So we'll talk about that. Keeping in with Marvel. The Marvels is not looking too sweet with the embargoes dropping the day before the movie comes out and all this, but they're trying to now do, it looks like a Black Adam thing where there's a new leak that there's a major cameo at the end of the movie that people are going to lose their minds, and that's the reason why people are going to buy tickets. Is that desperate, or is it just something that got leaked? Another leak that happened a while ago, besides me having to take a leak, that's not true. Ben Affleck, he was photographed on Aquaman 2, and then it was scrapped, and James Wan discusses why that's going down. So that's one of the many topics we'll be talking about with myself and Brett Sheridan today on this live episode of The Big Thing. We hope that you guys are liking the content thus far. Hope that you can subscribe to the channel, like the content here. It helps tremendously. Got a lot of great things going on, man. But it's myself and Brett Sheridan. We'll get to all your questions and everything. Don't worry. That's what we do on the live. But that's it. It's me and Brett. Let's do it. What's going on? Welcome back to The Big Thing, whether you listen to us on the YouTubes, Apple Podcast, wherever podcasts are found, Spotify, the whole 9 yards. Now, joining me last week, we did a live episode on here. We did a 2-shot. A lot of you didn't care, and a lot of you said, nope, don't do that again. So I figured out something different to do.
Whoa.
Now people got to go, oh, now what are you doing, a digital show?
Yeah, what is this digital show for?
No digital show. Well, StreamYard lets you add now a second camera. If they do a third, I'd put the wide in there, but I'm going to get rid of StreamYard eventually. I think there's better ways to do this. But nonetheless, Brett.
Hey.
I
was, you're so subdued today. I was gonna come in here guns blazing about my morning.
Why would you do?
Well, no,
No.
It's
you thought I was gonna be mad?
No, here's the thing. Well, yes and no.
Oh.
You don't want to. Well, yeah, I was late.
Yeah.
But the story is how 2 shits can ruin a whole morning.
Someone took 2 shits?
Well,
Who
no,
took 2 shits.
My son,
or you didn't give 2 shits.
He was supposed to go with my wife and my daughter early.
Okay.
And he's like scrambling out of the bathroom.
It's just pinching. It's just pinching your stomach.
No, I couldn't survive outside of the world if I didn't take care of this demon inside of me.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad that you did. Better here than there, because you were still farting when you came in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's not great.
Little aftershocks.
Yeah, it's all right. It's good to have everybody
Thor
back.
5, man.
What, the 4 or 5?
No, Thor 5.
Oh, Thor 5. We'll get into Thor 5. Taika not coming back. We'll get into all that. And for everybody who's watching on the live stream.
What?
Oh,
I saw no sound, but it's back.
Yeah, I know it. Is the sound
audio back? All right.
No, I know what happened. I know what happened. I'm this is again why I'm getting rid of StreamYard. I took myself out of it because I was getting used to you know how OBS I can take you out and just take myself out, have you in focus. But when I took myself out, I took the mics out. Stupid ass. So I get you'll get sound going there. It's StreamYard. I'm trying to figure it out. Like I said, I'm gonna be I want to go live in with OBS. I'm gonna go live with some other programs too. So it's give me some time. But yeah, we'll get into this stuff, but you guys, as you're watching this, you can throw in your super chats, and like we've been doing on these streams, we're going to cover the main topics, and after we get to the main topics, even if you put one in now, I'll get to it. We'll stay here. We'll get to all the questions. Don't worry. Oh man, the show on Tuesday was one of the more controversial shows that we've done.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
For the stupidest reason. So we're talking on the UAP show is myself, Riley, and Roxy. And so we were talking about in the Jeremy Corbell was talking about how this particular guy who worked in the program talked about how they were reverse engineering and that they had cracked the hull of the ship. The hull of the ship.
Yeah.
The hull of the ship. Roxy is from Boston.
Yeah.
So when she says hull, she says hull.
Hull.
Every other comment was it's hull, not hull. I lost my mind because every other comment, and I'm like, don't these guys know what the hull of a ship is? And I'm like, no one said hull. She said we're going down the rabbit hole once, but she never said. And then so she put out this whole. She put out this short, which is actually really funny and did fairly well. We put the short on there, and where she was trying to, she can't say it. She legit cannot say the word. It was
yeah. I saw her. Yeah. Now I know why you're so subdued.
Why?
Because you raged it. You raged it all out on that scenario.
I wasn't even really raged
like,
on that. No, because I was working on other things, but like when I'm working and I'm going through stuff, I see comments come in and I check because I try to respond to as many comments as I can. So when they're coming in, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're the good. There's good news and bad news to it. The good news, I'll go to the bad news. The bad news is that it's every 5 seconds I'm writing. No one said that. It's Hull. It's this. She's from Boston. That's one. That's the bad news. The good news is that there were so many comments. It was a very engaged video.
Wonderful.
And so many, and like it did very well. But it's like, oh, it was funny though. It was funny. So we'll have to address it again on the show next week. But it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Again, thank you, Pete. I see that Pete threw in a super chat. We'll get to that for sure. You want to talk about this Taika story real quick, Brett?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it because I know you're a Taika fan in general, but this is some news. This is some news. Thor 5. Thor 5 is reportedly in development at Marvel Studios and without filmmaker Taika Waititi. It appears that Taika won't be given the chance to finish his Thor trilogy after helming Ragnarok and Love and Thunder because Marvel is said to be searching for a new director for Thor 5. Kenneth Branagh did a great job. This is from Josh Wilding at Comic Movie. Kenneth Branagh did a great job when he introduced MCU's God of Thunder in 2011's Thor. When Game of Thrones director Alan Taylor was tapped to helm Thor: The Dark World, we expected the hero's world to be injected with some of that Westeros grittiness. Instead, the 2013 release was a disappointment. Taika drastically reinvented the hero in the colorful Thor Ragnarok, putting a comedic spin on the Asgardians' corner of the shared world. Lightning didn't strike twice, though, and last year's Thor: Love and Thunder was nothing if a hit and miss. While not an outright failure, it was far from Marvel Studios' worst-performing movie, both critically and commercially. Something about it didn't work. Many fans have argued that Waititi was given too much freedom. Bingo. While even Chris Hemsworth has acknowledged that the movie missed the mark and it was way too silly. Despite Disney's CEO Bob Iger's suggestion that Marvel needs to focus less on sequels, a new rumor from scooper Daniel Richtman claims that Thor 5 is officially in development. However, Taika will not return, and the hunt is on for a new director to put their spin on this iconic character. This is interesting because the trades debunked reports about a 5th installment being in the works earlier this fall. It's possible the end of the WGA strike has changed things. Thor: Love and Thunder wrapped up by settling the stage for the title hero to clash with Hercules, but that's a story we could eventually see play out somewhere else. Whatever the case, new Thor movie hasn't been officially announced, and it will be likely in Avengers: The Kang Dynasty that we'll see Thor blast into action. Perhaps destined Daniel Cretton can reinvent the hero before a new solo adventure follows. Either way, Taika has addressed the complaints about Thor: Love and Thunder's wacky tone by saying some audiences really loved the humor part of it. Some audiences really wanted it to be just like the comics. But, you know, I always say If you want it to be exactly like the comics, read the comic. You got to change things here and there to make a film. Love Taika, but that's a very different. I actually hate that. I hate that comment.
I think it's a wonderful comment.
Do you? I hate that comment. I hate that comment because that's not what that was. You can change things around completely. You don't have to make it exactly like the comics, but you can also not make your lead character a Saturday Night Live character. And Hercules doing a dance with his freaking toga. I mean, that was
Thor's not. Is he goofy in the comics? I'm not. I mean,
not to that extent, dude.
Okay.
I mean, not really. No, he's pretty serious from what I know. I'm not.
They made him a Spider-Man kind of a.
He progressed in humor every single movie, and with Taika, you're gonna get humor. And I actually really enjoyed the humor in Ragnarok. I thought it worked pretty well. It was because it was a good blend. There was emotional stuff that tied in from the other movies. There's stuff that he was going through with Loki, with the stuff with Odin that I thought worked brilliantly. So he changed things up there, and actually, I think helps his comment of what he just said.
Yeah.
But then defending Love and Thunder is a Mad TV sketch. It is such a good. I mean, by the time you get to the end and the stuff with Jane and her being sick, like sure, there's some emotional stuff there, but it's so and you forget. And if you have Christian Bale in your movie and you forget that he's almost even in it,
yeah,
that's a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a problem. I don't even think about Christian Bale when I think about that movie.
I don't either.
And it's just not a good movie. And I knew that this was probably going to be the case when I heard Chris Hemsworth on Josh Horowitz's podcast, and they talk about it in this article where they said he even was like, it didn't work, and it was too silly or whatever he said. And when that's happening and the star doesn't feel into it, but I do think because there's reports that they weren't going to do it and that Thor 5 wasn't going to happen. I think because of Guardians. And they have all these movies right now that they don't have any sure all-stars.
Yeah.
If you can get Chris Hemsworth back and you can make it like a more serious Thor this time and go out on a high note, you get him. So, Brett, I know that you were going to say all that. I apologize.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like that this would have been a good chance for Taika to, like, not that he has to, but like redeem himself. So that's why I kind of, feel bad that like he's not doing the next one, I guess. But also they dropped the director before they found somebody else. No,
I mean, but they already had Thor established.
Yeah,
It's like Thor, he didn't, it's not like he introduced the franchise. He didn't introduce it.
So it doesn't take a very specific person.
Favreau left after the second movie, after the second Iron Man movie, and so I don't think it hurts. I actually think it helps the franchise because I like Taika a lot. I think Taika is in that position where Mike Kalinowski and I had this conversation the other day about there are certain directors that when they're directing movies, you can tell that their style's all over them, right? We had mentioned like Nolan and obviously Tarantino, and I think that Taika's in there, like that it's a Taika movie, like you just know because of the humor, and I think that he needs to stick to doing Taika Waititi movies. Like Taika Waititi movies are awesome, like they're awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and he should be doing that. I think. I mean, I know he wants the big paychecks, and he wants to just like I do not want to see a Star Wars Taika Waititi movie, because of the fear of that last movie, even though the finale that he directed was fantastic because he didn't write it. He added his spin on it.
Okay.
But he didn't write it. He didn't write Ragnarok. Like he obviously threw his flavor in there, but he didn't write it. When he's not writing it and somebody else is doing stuff and he adds his flavor to it, sure. But not for that. And I think it's a really good move. And it is a bummer that people kind of, I don't want to say turned on him, but I think that most people were excited about that movie.
Yeah.
And the trailer was fantastic. And you're like, whoa, this is gonna, and then you're like, what? It was like a goof. I felt like I got tricked. Like it was like,
hey, Ashton, come on, am I getting punked?
It was kind of like that. I couldn't believe it.
Have you accidentally pulled that one out? Just to give you.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna tell you, most of the audience doesn't even know what that reference is.
Like, wow.
Did you ever audition for Punk?
No.
I got really, really close a couple times. I was on and what's the shoot? I've told this story before, but what is the lead actress's name on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh,
Vaughn?
I do not know.
Shoot, they'll know in the comments. I've told this. I kept getting closer and closer to callbacks, a few different seasons, and I always made it towards like the last round. And then I remember the woman who this woman Nicole, who was always like champion for me and was always getting me in the room. She goes, "You got it. It's going to be, you're going in there. It's just between you and like 2 other people. You're going there. You can do this, and you're probably going to be auditioning with the people that you're going to be competing against." So I walk into the scene, and it's her. It's me and her. And we're pretending we're on an airplane or something. She annihilates me. And so much so that I almost laughed of what she was saying. And I did not have a good audition. I remember sitting there going, "This is terrible." But she's funny. And she's going to get it. And then years later, she shows up on It's Always Sunny.
Yep.
Yep, that makes sense. But that to me, that was one of my, that was a fun audition moment. Again, I see the comments coming in, the super chats coming in, and we will get to all of them. Don't worry if you see them and you're like, "Well, wait a minute, aren't you going to get to my super chat?" Yes, we'll get to all of them. So that's how we kind of run through it. I want to thank everybody for absolutely joining us here today. Yeah, thank you guys very much so. And I think, if somebody put in a Streamlabs, don't do that, because I'm not checking the Streamlabs, and I think I just got a notification on it. So I'm just not hooked up to it. So thank you for it. If you put a Streamlabs in, I'll try to go back and find it and do it on a future show. But it's just too much. I try to do that, and it's very kind of you, obviously. And I'll get to it. I'll find it and I'll bring it up. But yeah, we're just doing super chats today. So yeah, I'm very curious to hear what you guys think. Do you guys like this idea that he's not coming back? Do you think that he should come back? Do you think they should just scrap Thor altogether? What say you? Comment. I got to hear it. I want to know. I got to hear exactly what you guys are saying. Do you know, by the way, that I got that? Do you know who our newest sponsor was?
No.
No. First Leaf. Do you know what First Leaf is?
No.
Oh, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna be happy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I audibly cheered when I found out that First Leaf was coming on as a sponsor. I cheered. Why? Because I love wine. I love wine. Who doesn't love wine? I am a wine person. I've been really drinking a lot of Pinot Noirs lately, and they sent me them. They sent me one of those. They customize to what you like. Mark Riley's going to lose his mind, by the way, when he finds out that First Leaf is coming on. And they sent me, these are the ones that I got. Look at that. Clearly, the last one is empty. That's right when I got it. Anyway, First Leaf knew exactly what to send me, because they gave me like a little quiz up top. And they said, "What do you like?" And I love them. They make it so easy to get personalized wine delivered. It's on my schedule. It's right to my door. I choose the day that my shipment comes. I'm never stressed about missing a delivery. And every selection is backed by First Leaf's 100% satisfaction guarantee. It is so good, so easy. I love it. It's great. And it's great being a member, because you get to avoid the overwhelming feeling when I used to go into the aisles of the supermarkets or in the stores in general and go back and forth. And I was like, I don't know what to get. I'm not sure. I know I like this. I'm not sure if I think I like that. I like the taste of that. There had to be a better way. I got the better way. First Leaf. They match award-winning bottles to my taste, so I get just right wines in every shipment. It's wine exploration without the guesswork. If you can tell that I'm excited, you're right. I love it. Look at these. Look at the ones that I got so far. I mean, really, really good. I got I got some Pinot. I got some stuff from Australia. I got the different blends, and I'm telling you, I'm red. I like the red. My wife likes the white. So we made sure we got a couple different ones. Now with the membership, this is the one. This is the one I've been waiting for. I love this one. I love First Leaf. And you guys will too. Give your palate what it really wants with First Leaf. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing to sign up, and you're going to get your first 6 hand-curated bottles for just $44.95. tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing. tryfirstleaf.com/bigthing. You will be thanking me. This is awesome. It's the best. You tell I was
Boy, you're real fake read there. I was so
excited,
bursting at the seams.
Dude, it you know, like when you get like well, like how my daughter was when she opened up her toy,
Yeah,
her toy car when the package came.
That's so cool.
It was great. I put the link in the description for everybody. If you ever have liked me, if you have ever been a fan of this show, and you want to, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna throw the guy a bone. Get a subscription for a month, 2 months, and you'll be thanking me for it. But like that means that they'll come back, and I want them for the rest of my life. Anyway, I put the link in the description. There's some other things, but I want to sticking with Marvel because this is. Oh, you know what? Before we even get to that, you know what I'll do? Before we do that, let's talk about.
I had 47 questions about the Thor.
About Thor?
Yeah.
You have more questions?
I actually do have a question for. Who do you want to direct it?
Someone who will just present the tone. Like I was talking about this the other day. I think that what Marvel needs to go back to is collaboration, not saying, oh yeah, okay, let's go to this kind of Kathleen Kennedy school thing where it's like, okay, JJ Ryan, you do your movie. Go ahead. Taika, Sam Raimi. Yeah, do your movies. Stop doing that. They didn't do that. It worked for them beautifully where they do collaboration. I use Ryan Coogler all the time as the example. Ryan Coogler, hey, I know that Black Panther meant a lot to you as a kid. We have this. We wanted to do a Black Panther movie. We needed to connect this particular way into the franchise. What's your take? Well, my take is this. Great. Let's meet in the middle. You have your creative vision to it. We have ours. Let's agree. Do that. And so if they find someone that they can do that with, that they go, look, the last time with Thor, we need to bring him back a little bit more. He needs to be, he's managing this kid. He's lost the love of his life. He's doing this. He's a little bit more serious. And we want to make it more epic. I'd want to go more science meets magic. Give us that kind of Lord of the Rings feel to it, but scale it down as far as the over CGI. And you don't have to make a $300 million Thor movie. Make a $150 million Thor movie.
Welcome aboard.
What's that? Thanks.
You got the job.
Thank you.
That was, I mean,
good pitch.
That's one of those like, how do you talk like that? The whole time I'm like, how are those words all coming out of your like? But I completely understood. That's a very concise. I mean, like, let's hope that sounds like a not corporate way of going about it. So hopefully they can. That seems like that has a lot of heart, and hey, let's give somebody a vision to do something. So I'd be down for that, or just a extremely just brutal Thor. Have it be Tarantino's last film.
Right. I would like to see them kind of change it up. I don't know. They need a change. And I guess that kind of transition us. We'll get back to your story in a second. We should probably just transition into this thing, man, with where the hell is it? Oh, did I not put it in here? The Marvels. Because the Marvels is there's so much going on with that movie right now. The first thing was that we still don't know if they're going to be able to, the actresses are going to be able to promote it. No clue, because the strike. Did you get the email last night? It looks like they're going back to the table today. Basically what they did was they negotiated on Tuesday. They were presented a deal. They took the day off yesterday because they were looking over the deal to say like, okay, this last deal that was presented, we're really going to dive into this thing and see if we can accept it. So what would be ideal to everybody is that, today at some point they're like, look, they addressed a lot of the concerns. We're good.
Yeah.
And then we have an interim agreement. I don't know if that'll happen. I'd probably say no. I'd say they come back to the table today. Yeah, but Mike Kalinowski said it'd probably go into the weekend. I think he might be right, but I'm still holding hope that it's done by Friday.
The settle. I think a lot of people are beginning to think, that the settled writing strike it hurt them.
Right.
Like now it's like, okay, now they're on their own, and then when it was like writers, should have been directors, writers, and actors all together, but directors took a deal anyway. I don't like it, and it needs to stop.
You don't like what? The strike?
Yeah. It's like, come on.
It's time for it to end. It's time for it to end. I agree.
And I wish they had. I wish they had all of them, all the unions back,
all together. But all right. So let's talk a little bit about the Marvels, because the Marvels aren't able to promote their show or their movie at all, the actresses yet. So it's possible, but the problem is this movie comes out, I think it's November 10th or whatever that Friday is, whatever. It's creeping up. And then the screening is the Tuesday before for press. The social embargo lifts that night. The review embargo lifts the next day, which essentially gives you around 24 hours, a little over 24 hours between release and review. Normally, Marvel releases their movies like 2 weeks before. So people are going, uh-oh. That's part one. The trailers, to me, haven't been very good. They've pretty much looked like my problem with a lot of these movies. It looks pretty generic for the most part, with the caveat that if the dynamic works between the three ladies, it could be a lot of great moments inside of it. That if their chemistry is fantastic, that might be why you're going. In the same way why you would go to the Blue Beetle to see that family dynamic with a subpar superhero movie, or why you go to see Aquaman 2 because of Jason Momoa's personality, but a subpar superhero movie. Now, if none of that stuff is working, Marvel's is in trouble. But Dark Horizons, this is talking about the Marvel's rumor swirl. We're not going to give you details of who the cameo might be, but we're just going to tell you about what the strategy looks to be. It's been a busy week for Marvel Studios' final film of the year. First, several rumors have gone online regarding the films and the franchise's future. Grace Randolph reported on X that a last-minute surprise is being added to the film. It's not clear what that is, and the actor strike on since July. It's unlikely to be a cameo unless it's one filmed many months ago. Thus, it's not a last-minute surprise. Scooper Daniel Rickman offered a much better explanation, saying it's a cameo, someone who was the perfect casting for a certain role and never got his chance to do justice with it because they wasted him on a shit movie. And it's coming back. That's all I'm going to say. It follows on from comments earlier this week on the Watch podcast, where MCU, the Reign of Marvel Studios author Joanna Robinson reportedly indicates that star Brie Larson wants to move on from the role. That is unconfirmed at this point. It's more official news. Disney has announced the runtime of Marvel's, which is confirmed to be clocking in at 104 minutes. No. Yeah, 104 minutes, 1 hour and 44 minutes. Wow, that is not good. That's short. I mean, it's good for people who, if it's not good, you just get out of the theater earlier. But man, an hour and 44 minutes? Holy moly. While there have been numerous rumors and some exhibitor guesstimates via placeholder runtimes, the official runtime of the movie is now confirmed. Wow. That breaks the previous record held by The Incredible Hulk and Thor: The Dark World as the shortest MCU movie ever made. Both of those films were 8 minutes longer at 152. 112 minutes, and are also considered two of the weakest MCU films to date. Well, I don't agree with the Incredible Hulk part of it, but sure on Thor. Yeah, I think this movie's gonna be in trouble. I think it's gonna be in trouble. I think that it's there's a lot of things pointing to it, and I think that this cameo thing was leaked because I think they're trying to do a Black Adam. Let's just try to get them in the theater somehow. That's just because if they think the movie stinks and they know that the critics are going to nail it, they're going to go, okay, well, that's not going to help us. So we got to just say, let's get them in the theater to do this. The opposite is, maybe I just don't understand how an hour and 44-minute movie can, with it coming out to critics a day and a half before, how that points to anything like that's promising. Like, I'm trying to see the upside in any of it, and I can't. Can you?
This is one of those things where, again, we're like, as the schmo,
right,
if you will, of this. Now, all these variables that you guys, see, like, I wouldn't have looked at this and gone, "Oh my god, that runtime, it's gonna be shit."
Right,
I don't know these things,
right.
and that's crazy. That from my point of view, all I see is you're telling me is there's like a perfect storm of they're doing everything that says this is not going to be great, and I it's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, it just like I said when I was reading the report. Sure, if the movie's not good, and you're watching it and you're going, well, I know I only got to be in this for 5 minutes. That's, I guess, a positive, but they really need Deadpool to get here, because what they're gonna do now, they had Secret Invasion, which is the last stink that they've had on. They had let's see, Secret Invasion was a stink. Thor: Love and Thunder was a stink. Doctor Strange 2, Raimi heads loved it. I think it's fairly forgettable. Shang-Chi is good. I liked Eternals, but I'm one of the few. Let's see. She-Hulk was a stink. What else? I'm trying to think of the other ones that are. I didn't mind the Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I actually really liked that show. I loved WandaVision. I loved Loki, both season 1 and 2. I'm trying to think of the other ones that have just kind of popped in here and there, but like it's just kind of forgettable now. But what they're coming off of the last few of them, the last few right now. I mean, and then they've got Echo that there's been buried, and that's supposed to come out in like January. They're gonna dump it all out in one shot. I think what they're trying to do is all the stuff that they had from the kind of the older regime before Iger put that mandate down of let's do less movies, let's do more quality stuff. I think all the stuff that they had gets dumped, pushed away quick. They get to Deadpool, which will probably be pushed back now until July because it's supposed to come out in May, but they didn't even finish shooting and the strike's not over. So, and then they're just going to go, all right, fingers crossed. Let's go Deadpool, everything from Deadpool on. That's our new cleaning point. Let's move because they will have a hit with Deadpool.
Yeah.
But they've got to get everybody involved again because if this movie, I don't know if it's going to tank though. Like it might not be good, but will it tank? I'm so curious. What do you guys think? Do you think that this movie, if it's not good, right? Let's say that an hour and 45, it doesn't matter if it's we saw a Black Adam, and a Superman cameo as opposed to whoever the cameo might be, not enough to save a movie. It's not even enough, and the Superman couldn't even it barely made that movie break even if it even broke even. So let's put that out of the way because a cameo isn't going to do anything to get people in the seats. If this movie is not great, right? Can it still make money? Do you think it still could make money? Like because it's an hour and 44 minutes. Maybe the thinking in that scenario is all right. Look, we don't have a great movie on our hands. We do have a good chemistry here. We got some jokes that made people like, but it's an hour and 44 minutes. So if we put as many showings in theaters as possible, do the turnaround, that maybe we can make a little cash off this thing. Is it possible? Let me ask you a question in the comments. Do you think, and whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay, do you think that this movie is going to break even? That's part one. And part two, make a profit. I want to see the comments as it's coming in. Brett, you've got a story.
Oh man.
Five Nights at Freddy. Tell me about it.
Five Nights at Freddy. I want to go.
Yeah, but what happened?
What? Oh, you.
So, yeah, no. Here's.
Okay, got it. Now I
story.
know. No, I didn't know where you were going with
all
this.
All right.
I thought there was gonna be a squirrel involved.
Well, you've been doing this long enough with me that you know how screenings work. Yeah. Go ahead. Tell me.
And I just said, hey, can I get in? Any chance I can get in the Five Nights?
When did you do that?
Last night.
Right. When's the movie come out?
This weekend.
Because I had said to myself like yesterday, I was like, oh, because Five Nights at Freddy comes out on Peacock also this weekend, doesn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't have the Peacock.
I don't know. I'll let them tell me if they think. So when it comes to this movie, I was like, oh, I should have probably reached out for a screening, but I forgot to.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll have to watch it on Peacock, and that's it. Last night, Brett writes me a text. He was like, "Can you get me a screening of this thing?" And I was like, "Well, doesn't it come out this weekend?" And like, as you were saying before, like if you're in this business enough, to know that you got at least a week or two.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that we had discussed when it was coming out, like maybe or scanned it, on Dark Horizons or something. So it's probably there. Somewhere
in your head. Somewhere in your head it's there. But people are, I don't know, is it getting good reviews? I have no idea.
I don't know. I think I saw which okay.
It's gonna do well.
This would have made sense. Well. I saw like Roca post that he was at a screening.
Is that where you saw it?
Yeah. So that makes it even worse.
Makes it even worse. Because we must have missed it as the first thought should come into your head. Instead you go, I wonder if there are any more.
What if there's one after this one that I could just get back?
Sure. I mean, look, if
it was 8:30,
that's not a crazy thought if the movie was coming out in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If the movie was coming out in 2 weeks and he saw a screening, you're like, oh, I saw
Yeah.
he saw an early screening. Are there any other ones? But the chances are, if the movie comes out on Friday or
Yeah.
Thursday night, really, and he saw it on Wednesday, yeah, the chances are there's probably not going to be any more.
Hey man, finger on the pulse, Sheridan.
That was your original photo name.
Yeah,
I remember
finger
that.
on the pulse.
But Brett did see a movie last night, and it was the Llamas of Detroit. Can you tell us about that one?
Oh man, the Llamas of Detroit was so in about 1897 in Detroit. With you giggling. It was a gang called the Llamas. And it was kind of around the Peaky Blinders kind of era.
They rode llamas around Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, they rode them around Brooklyn. I mean, there were a few different llama gangs, but this was the toughest llama gang.
Of course, it was a true story.
Yeah. Of the
Was it Ben Kingsley?
Ben Kingsley,
right? And Timothy Chalamet playing the llamas.
Oh yeah, did I tell you that
it's half animated?
Yeah,
it was like Roger Rabbit, right?
Yeah, it was Pete's Dragon.
It was like Pete's Dragon. I like that movie.
I can't with you just giggling to the side. It's such a distraction.
I took myself off the camera.
But all I see is
you're supposed to be a pro. Anyway, do you guys see Llamas of Detroit?
Oh man,
I love that I said that Llamas of Detroit, and I said they're riding around Brooklyn.
It was a brutal murder suicide
inside of it. Anyway, unbelievable. Thanks everybody for being here today. I saw the super chats coming in. Thank you. We'll get to all of them in just a moment. We were on Marvel. We're gonna move off of Marvel. We're gonna go to DC because there's some stuff that was going on with the with Ben Affleck, and there's talks of. I remember when those. I think you and I even did a video on it when there was I guess he was on set and they took pictures of him and Momoa on set, and there's like, oh, Batman's coming back to Aquaman. Ben Affleck's coming back as Batman and Aquaman. Well, there's a new,
but no, that's just how Ben Affleck he just is in that outfit
all the time, all the time. Aquaman 2 director James Wan now explains why Ben Affleck's Batman probably not going to appear. Because they shot it and they said, well, we don't want to keep confusing people by having 87 Batman. Mark Cassidy. Ben Affleck's take on Bruce Wayne Batman was heavily rumored to return for James Wan's Aquaman and Lost Kingdom during production, and Jason Momoa actually announced that his Justice League's co-star involvement in an Instagram post last year. This obviously indicated that Affleck did shoot scenes for the film, but reports from test screenings claimed he was nowhere to be seen, seemingly confirming that Warner Brothers made the decision to remove the character from the sequel. Since then, it's come to light that the Lost Kingdom shoot wasn't exactly plain sailing, with reports of behind-the-scenes turmoil and extensive reshoots that altered significant aspects of the story. While speaking to Empire for their latest issue, Wan was asked if we might see Affleck's Caped Crusader in the movie. Probably not. All I'll say is those scenes were just to have something in the bank in case we needed to explain time continuity if it came out first. This does actually gel with previous reports. Both Affleck and Michael Keaton's take on The Dark Knight were said to feature in the sequel at one point, which studio execs were concerned about because it could potentially confuse audiences. Wan seemed to be suggesting that the idea was scrapped when the decision was made to release The Flash first. Having failed to defeat Aquaman the first time, what is this now? It's just a synopsis to the movie. So yeah, I think there's maybe some truth to that, some PR nonsense as well too. I think that
doesn't sound outlandish.
No, it doesn't. But I don't want. It was just to explain time stuff. Yeah. No, it was to boost your sales because you're going to put Ben Affleck as Batman in it.
Yeah,
you can say that. That's okay. We were excited. We wanted to make sure that we gave people a little more incentive, and the idea was we were going to put Ben Affleck in the movie. He was going to come back. People were excited. He wanted to come back. We said, why wouldn't we? If he wants to come back, they're buddies. We filmed the scene, and then it just didn't work out. Yeah. We had to maneuver things.
I couldn't make it make sense.
I think it contradicted his other comments that we talked about on Wednesday's show, where he said, no. It was like the people are blowing the reshoots out of proportion, which they very well might have been. But like I also, but I think that the story just changed significantly, and I do think that maybe there was something added into the idea of, well, they just did this thing with Keaton, and now are we looking like we're just relying on it when that was initially the goal in the first place?
Yeah.
And I also think that having Keaton and Ben Affleck in it together probably would have been a good move. Who cares if you would have confused audiences? Because you probably need it at this moment.
Yeah.
This is another one.
I mean, it's fun.
I thought so, but who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I wonder what you guys think about this. Who's calling?
I thought I had it on silent.
I'm hoping that I get another. Yesterday, I got a someone did call me.
Oh no!
Oh, I just missed it. Did I miss it? No, I didn't miss it. Okay. So when I was on with Mike yesterday, I had a call come in, a spam call. The number that came in was 111111111.
Oh, wonderful.
They're not even trying to be. They're not even trying to be slick. It's like now when they call, I'm like, okay, and it's even Siri's like spam.
Yeah.
And I picked up and I said I didn't have the Bluetooth in, so I couldn't do big balls, but I did. The first thing I said was bagels. I was like, is Kristian?
Oh, I was here
yesterday.
Yeah, you go.
When we did it.
Yeah, you were on the
Where
phone.
were you?
I was sitting right here when
Mike was here.
No, I thought this was when we were
is
shooting yesterday because you went like, so how much can I get?
I told you guys about it. So we shot with Katie yesterday, and I think I must have. So I told you about it. Yeah. But yeah. So and it just that was like I look forward to them now. And
what did you say? You said something like
I basically said.
So can I get the most expensive?
The first thing I said was, "Hey," they said, "Is Kristian Harloff there?" And I said, "He's getting bagels right now." And I said, "Who's this? Is this the bagel store?" And she goes, "No, this is so you've won a loan for $9,000 that you don't have to pay back to the government after we give it." And I go, "Oh my God, that's amazing. Let me ask you a question. Could I get like a lot of cream cheese and lox with that?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "What? I don't know what you mean." I go, "I just want to know if I could get some like onion bagels," and then she hung up on me. But I think that but I saw somebody in the comments going, "Oh my gosh, I finally caught a one of these people who called in." I think it's becoming like a bit now.
Do you think you get more? Because I avoid them at all costs. Yeah, because I was
this one woman calls me all of the time
about that loan,
loan thing. Mm-hmm. She calls me all the time, always introduces herself the same way. I hang up on her 7 times a day, and I gotta get her on the air. And she hasn't called yet while I'm on the air, but I gotta get her on the air when she calls. I mean, I'm sure if I called her now, I probably could, because I have it in the log that is should probably pick up. But I mean, I've hung up on her so many different times. Anyway, seeing some people doing a lot of the super chats coming in, guys. So we'll get to them ASAP, I promise. I also wanted to move on over to, I think we had another story here too that I wanted to get to before we get to the questions. I do. And yeah, this is this Apple TV thing. They are
changing their name to Max.
Yep. No, raising their prices like everybody else.
Oh no.
Yeah, man. Everybody's raising their prices because I'm telling you, it's because of strikes. I mean, they've got to now because they can't pull these deals anymore that they're saving all the money for themselves. Apple TV is raising its monthly price. That's right. Garth Franklin, Dark Horizons. Apple is set to raise the price of its Apple TV Plus service considerably. I hate that. The resulting change effectively doubles the cost of the launch price. Apple TV launched at $5 a month, and then last year saw its prices raised to $6.99. Now it's going to jump to $9.99, and the annual fee goes from $69 to $99. Accordingly, Apple is also raising the price of its Apple One bundle. Apple is hardly the first of these services to adjust their prices. Netflix upped its prices earlier this month. Peacock, Disney, Hulu, Paramount, Discovery, Max all adjusted their prices. Apple says, "Deal with it, fuckos."
Yeah. Exactly. Like you joke, but that's deal with
basically what it is.
Oh, you know what you could do? Not have it.
Yeah, you know what? Stick it up your ass. We're making more iPhones right now. Yeah. We don't need your money. We are focused on delivering the best experience possible for our customers.
The fuck you are. You want to make a bunch of money. That's all. Right. And you got us. You got us by the balls.
We make good stuff, so suck it up, Buttercup.
Hey, do you realize you have a $1,200 phone?
Yeah, it's $10, asshole. Stick it up your ass and pay for it.
Most of them eked it in. No, they're like double, bitch.
Yeah. What do you expect? We were $4.99, and
Yeah.
that guy that initially said that, he got fired. All right. We are focused on delivering the best experiences possible for our customers by consistently adding high-quality entertainment, content, innovative features to our Apple services. Since launching years ago, Apple TV has made history for streaming services by crossing major milestones in a short span of time, thanks to its extensive selection of award-winning and broadly acclaimed series, feature films, documentaries, and kids and family entertainment. One area where Apple differs is that it does not have an ad-supported tier. It's not clear if one is coming. Other services that do have them generally left their tiers pricing alone. All right. So I'll tell you what. I don't think this move by Apple is a big deal because everybody's up in their prices. The streaming rules have changed after the strike. They're going to change more after the SAG strike.
Yeah.
Companies have to make more money, and I'll tell you, from $4.99 in general for what Apple's putting out was a steal.
Yeah, that was great.
$9.99, what Apple's putting out is a fair price. Now Netflix, I think Netflix's prices are outrageous because they put out half Netflix. I will not complain about. Give me, motherfucker, dude. They're killing me. Like they're all everywhere.
We gotta get like Sentinel.
Everywhere. These freaking mosquitoes. So Apple TV to me the price is fine because Netflix, I will stop and I will not complain about Netflix for a year if they do one thing: change their trailers. Their trailers are shit. And I don't mean the trailers that they put out on YouTube. Like if you put look at the Bradley Cooper movie that's coming, that's a Netflix movie, right? Or Zack Snyder's movie, that's a Netflix movie. That trailer comes out. Put that trailer when I'm looking around and I go, oh, what's this movie? And I look and I see some movie and I look and I go, okay. And I'll say this too because I know that I might potentially make this into a short. Netflix needs to change their trailers. They need to change their trailers because when I'm trying to find out a movie that they have so many different things on Netflix that I don't know what the hell it is, I look at Netflix and I'm looking around and I go, okay, what's this movie with so-and-so that I don't really know? I know who that person is. I've seen them before. I wonder what this is about. And then it's a person. Here's the scene. They're drinking coffee. They play with a dog. And they go, hey, and it's a murder mystery. Like, I didn't know that from the dog. It looked like a happy movie. Looked like everything was going good. I didn't know that there was people banging in an alley somewhere. They didn't show that. They don't do any of this. It looks like a family movie. Oh, look, you want decaf or regular? It has nothing to do with coffee. Stupid Netflix. But I can't stand their trailers.
Yeah, you never want to hover over any of the menus that have the playing background because you'll just be like, I think the first one I made a joke about it was I was like, oh, I saw Defy Bloods last night. And
did you watch it?
No, it was me watching. This was years ago. I made that joke, and because I watched the little thing you're talking about, the preview. Yeah,
it's just a scene. The whole film. It's just a scene. It's just a scene. Show the trailer. The trailers that they put out are good, but just run the trailer. It drives me crazy. I don't know. Who came up with that strategy? I need to talk to someone at Netflix now. Get them on the phone. Why don't they ever spam me?
Yeah.
Why do they call well, they do. They pretend that they're Netflix. Did I tell you that I got one of those spam texts that said like, oh, you got to pay it was whether it was Netflix account or whatever it was, and I just sent back a GIF of or whatever it is with De Niro going, you're good, you stupid assholes. Anyway, all right. I think that we're gonna move to one thing before I think. Are there anything else? I think there's another. Oh, this story, Brett. Stallone's getting a new. He's getting a sequel to The Samaritan. I don't know how I feel about that. Did you see The Samaritan?
No, I don't even remember this one.
Now you know how much I love Stallone.
Yeah,
movie's fine. The deep fake at the end is the worst deep fake in the history of deep fake so far. It's so bad. It is a really bad deep fake moment. But nonetheless, Amazon's MGM Studios is reportedly developing a sequel to the Sylvester Stallone-led 2022 action feature Samaritan with Brad F. Schutt, the writer, returning to pen the script. Stallone's reprising his starring role in the deal reportedly made prior to the strike. He's also returning as producer alongside his Balboa Productions partner, Braden Aftergood. Julius Avery helmed the first film, which follows a young boy saved from a beating by a sanitation worker, and the kid believes that the worker is a superhero who disappeared 20 years earlier after an epic battle with his nemesis. Reviews for the films were negative, 38%, fair, on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 45 out of 100%. However, the film was #1 movie on the service for 3 consecutive weeks when it launched back in late August. First film was budgeted at $100 million. Not clear if the sequel will be on par. Project will mark the second original franchise for writer Schutt, who also penned Escape Room and was the original writer of The Last Voyage of whatever the Demeter. Most recently, he worked on Dungeons and Dragons television pilot. So Brett, what do you think? Do you think, I mean, when this is the difference between like when you have what is it? A movie for that comes out in streaming and a movie that comes out in theater. So what do you think about this?
I am very confused because I don't know what I never saw the first one.
Did you see that when it came out? Did you see when the trailer came out?
Yeah, I don't even know what this is about. And
I just told you what it's about.
Yeah, but like, no, I was listening, but it didn't make sense to me. So like, is he really a superhero?
You got, I mean, that's what you got to say.
So, and it sounded kind of like Unbreakable.
It's got that kind of feel to it. There's some of that to it, but it's like, and then they have a kind of this relationship he's got with this kid, and it's an interesting take. It's an interesting take of how it's just like I said, the end was just like, I just did not like the deep fake that they did. It was bad, and it took me out of it. The movie's fine. It's
not
fine.
that I'm the litmus for this, but if I didn't hear about it and I'm actually slightly above the average Joe, then I think maybe.
But it did well. But it did well. I mean, but this is the reason why. I think
it was cheap.
Well, $100 million is cheap. It's expensive for streaming because there's no kind of ticket back that you get. But the thing is, when you put that kind of money into it, the difference is if you put this movie into the theater, it could be for the $100 million that you then would have to put into marketing and everything else too, and probably have a little bit more. It would cost more than $100 million. It would have cost you so much more. And that's why movies like this now go to streaming, because they don't do well in the theater, and you've got a better shot of getting a sequel like this. Because if you can prove, like, look, a lot of people, this thing was the #1 movie. People wanted to see Stallone do this thing. Yeah, the critics' reviews weren't that good, but it did decent enough.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Did you guys watch that movie? Did you like that movie? Did you care about that movie? Do you think, would you watch a sequel? Even if you didn't like it, I'll watch a sequel. I'm curious of it. I wouldn't go and pay for it in the theater, but I'll go watch it again on Amazon if it comes out. So I think it's a good move. I'm curious what you guys think. We're going to get to your questions right now. But I don't know how many of you guys are football fans, man, but I'm excited to talk about DraftKings. I'll tell you that. DraftKings right now, if you're stepping into a world of nonstop action on DraftKings, you got to play the classics. You can play blackjack, you can play roulette, you can play slots, and you can do exclusive games that you can't find anywhere else. And right now, new customers, you can get a deposit match up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more. So what you have to do, you got to sign up, you got to select the offer, you got to make your deposit, and you start playing from a full suite of games. Your way is the only way to play on DraftKings Casino. You can play online, on your time, in your space, and within your means. So it's safe, it's secure, it's reliable, and you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you're ready. Brett, for me, when I'm on the plane, I'm playing blackjack on the back. So I feel like I've been training. I feel like I've been training. You got to download the DraftKings Casino app, and you got to do that now. You sign up with that promo code Big Thing, and new customers will get a deposit match up to $100 in casino credits, and you got to deposit just $5 or more. Only on DraftKings Casino, but you got to use that promo code Big Thing. Gambling problem? If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. That's in Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia. Please play responsibly. In partnership with Hollywood Casinos at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. You got to call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. It is 21 and up. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Only one per opted-in new customer. Minimum of $5 deposit. max match of $100 in casino credits, which require one-time playthrough within 7 days. You got to see terms at casino.com, DraftKings.com/players choice. Restrictions apply. Thank you to DraftKings for joining us here today on the show. DraftKings. And both links are going to be in the description. Okay. Brett, we got a lot of questions that are coming in, man.
Firing them away.
All right. So firing them away. Here we go. Let's see. We're going to go. Got to go all the way up because it started from the beginning of the stream, all the way up. We're beginning of the stream. We got a ton of them. So we're going to do. And by the way, if I'm going through these and you're adding them as I'm doing them, that's fine. Yeah. Brett and I will stay on for as long as you guys are throwing them in there. Even though I got Winston and Coy. Let's see. They wrote me 10:33. They're going to be here. So
exactly.
Let's see if we can hit everything. Let's see if we can hit all the comments and then go. And I'm sure people will start. Maybe you'll get lucky. If people are putting super chats in, we might have Winston and Coy crash by the time they get here. Let's beat it. Yep. All right. Let's see. So the first one. As I'm scrolling through, it is scrolling. Here's the first one. This is from Pete Parker, 2288. Hey, huge fan here. Thank you, Pete. Is the Marvel screening soon? I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Also, any chance of having Finstock coming on more often? Finstock has been golfing up a storm for the last 2 years. Yeah, he's been golfing a lot. So it's hard. I'll probably get him. Especially, I'd like to get him before. I mean, my goal is to eventually,
before he goes pro.
Yeah. And as I'm transitioning out of LA, I think that I want to, I'll have a lot of the old school kind of people coming back in for sure. And as far as the Marvels go, I had mentioned that I'm going to be seeing that on the Tuesday before it comes out. Okay. Pete Parker again. Thank you, Pete. Would love to hear you guys discuss your favorite movies and performances so far this year. I loved Oppenheimer, and Killian and RDJ are amazing. I happen to agree with you. I think that, and Brett will probably do the same because he's seen that one. My favorite movies so far, I'll give you my top two, and it's Oppenheimer and Air. Those are my two favorites. And I think that right now, I would say that Cillian Murphy is definitely going to be up there for Best Actor. I think Robert Downey Jr. and Robert De Niro will be nominated for Killers of the Flower Moon. But yeah, I think those are pretty good ones. So you've only seen really Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
But you loved it.
Oh yeah.
Loved it, yeah.
No, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely Cillian Murphy. And I think Robert Downey Jr., because we've been thinking of him as Iron Man for so long that this,
he transition. He shows you why he's as good as he is. He was so good in that movie. He should win. Thunderwolf, BGN, $5. Thank you, man. Hey guys, turns out the Spider-Man 2 game is only 25 hours long. How do you think a long game should be? I know you're very qualified to answer this. It's a great question. You could even said that and gone, guys, can you believe? Let's say that it's not long.
Yeah.
And you could be like, can you believe it's 25 hours long? I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I don't know how long.
Who's got time for that?
You have to understand something. I've been playing the first Jedi Survivor or whatever it's called, the first one, for 3 years. Still haven't even come close to finishing it. So to me, that's super short. So I have no idea.
I'll ask my son and get back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I don't know the answer to that.
And how fast of a speed play is that? Is that like, are you
exactly?
Are you pro? Is it on hard mode?
I don't know. Next question here from Mark Sanchez. What's up, Mark? Nice lunch break surprise. Thanks. Well, thank you. I love the people are kind of tuning into these things we do, because I think that a lot of times what we do is Brett and I try to shoot on Wednesdays and to have it ready by Thursday. But when we can't do that, we're like, let's just go live and we'll talk to the audience and everything too. And then I'm hoping to get Roxy back full time once the strike is over. And then Jen Sturge has been, she really wants to start coming on a lot more also.
Nice.
So we're working on that. So we're trying to do some stuff. Monday's most likely going to be the live day when it is live. Gallagher, she is the best. Hey, enjoyed the pizza review yesterday. Question for Kristian. Would you consider doing reaction to the game cutscenes like Spidey 2? Brett, hope all is well with you, Sir Flirt. Cheers. All right. So I actually had somebody reach out to me. I got to respond to the guy. And he said, listen, I'll play the whole game through and I'll record of it and you guys can react to my play and everything too. And I was just like, I just don't know when I have the time.
Yeah.
I made a promise to myself last week and I had to cancel on a few different appearances that I had committed to. And I said, I got to stop doing this. Got to stop committing to things and doing this. I don't have the time to do a lot of this stuff. And I don't know if I'd be able to do it. I just don't know if I'd be able to do it. I try to do it, sit down with Brett, like again, the goal is, and I didn't mention it today, and I'm mad at myself. The patreon.com/thebigthingshow is really something that we're pushing heavily, and we hope that you guys will join, because it is going to allow us to do a lot more, as I am essentially a one-man band and Brett helps when he can. But like, I'm trying to do all of this stuff right now, and if the more we keep building the show, we can get more people to do things. I would like to kind of essentially do what Greg Alba does. Greg's able to have people, like, if I would say, all right, Brett, you know what, you and so come in today, and I'll be out of the studio, you guys spend like 3 or 4 or 5 hours playing the game, stream it, do all that. That costs money. So I'm trying to build up. We're trying to get, like I said, 1,000. If we get to 1,000 members on Patreon, we're going to get Winston, who's going to go to Halloween Horror Nights, whenever that is, whether it's this, probably not this year, but probably next year for sure. Brett and I are going to, at 1,200, going to go to a Corey Feldman concert. You know, at 600, I tell you the new one that Mike Kalinowski is going to do 5 minutes of stand up.
Oh yeah.
So that one has been getting people interested. And then 10,000, Brett's going to skydive as a Flirt and Flouse. And there's a lot of other ones too. There's the 10,000 will also be a free for all, Schmodown free for all that we'll do. And there's other things too. For UAP people, there's going to be an extra UAP show. There's going to be extra Big Thing episodes. There's going to be Q&As, all this different stuff. So check out patreon.com/thebigthingshow. That link is in the description. If you are able to, and you want to be part of it, that's how we're going to start be able to do more things like you suggested, Andre. All right, here's another question. Mike Joyce, what up, Mike? Bruce Willis's Moonlighting was just added to streaming. Would you recommend it? It depends. Do you like 80s stuff? Do you like, I mean, it's dated, but it's a great show. I mean, it's a great show, and it's like prime Bruce Willis. It's what
I haven't revisited it, so I don't know, but I remember it being wonderful.
It was great. It's what got Bruce Willis like Die Hard and everything too. It really showed his personality. It made him a star. So if you like, you know, you got to just realize it's a dated show. If you're like, it's just an 80s show, and you want to kind of go back into that time capsule, it absolutely.
It's got some cute romantic chemistry, and
I'll tell you what. What's her face? Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah.
You go back in time, and Sybil Shepherd, like for Taxi Driver, one of the most attractive women in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, and a really underrated actress. They hated each other, by the way.
Oh, wonderful.
They hated each other. Okay. Galaghost, thoughts if Kenneth Branagh returns to Thor? Lou would love that. Would be a great bow on the franchise if he did it. I think that would be a great call if they did that. I would love to see that. Kenneth Branagh returning. Yeah, absolutely. Mike Choice. How are you guys celebrating Halloween this year? Well, I was supposed to go to a wedding.
Oh, yeah.
But I cannot go to that wedding because my kids can't take away the Halloween stuff with them.
No.
And the actual wedding is on Halloween, and I'm really bummed because I love these two people to death, and I was like, so bummed that I couldn't go, but and they understood, of course, because it was Halloween, but like
they understood what they were doing.
They understood. But
making all the people with kids outcasts. No, they understood.
But they got it. And it's just that my youngest was sick last year. The year before was the middle of the pandemic, so she really hasn't had a good trick-or-treating yet. And I'm gonna be taking her around trick-or-treating. And then my oldest is going to a party with my wife, so we're gonna kind of meet in the middle.
I'm
what about
going
you?
to be having a single tier. Lydia's going out with her friends and some other parents, and then like Blake I don't think he wants to do it, and we're gonna try to convince him to just go walk around the neighborhood with us, but
you're just gonna be blasting off in the toilet.
Just 2 shits.
Yep. All right, Yoshimitsu. I would love if Marvel brought back. Thank you, by the way, for the very generous super chat. I would love if Marvel brought back Kenneth Branagh for the next Thor. The character needs the sincerity and silliness that comes from the creators with a Shakespearean background. Love the big thing. Well, thank you for the kind words, and I happen to agree with you. I think that would be great to have him come back. As Gallagher said, and as you just said, I think that would be a nice thing to try to. And he's got a relationship with Disney. He's been doing those other movies with them, so yeah, why not? All right, keep going. Iram Parabo. Hey, Kristian, wondering if you're gonna have a talk about One Piece on Capes and Cows since it's a comic book adaptation. Shout out from Indonesia. Well, I don't know if you know this or not. Maybe you have, and that's why you brought that up. I did the reactions to the entire series. I have a full-on playlist that has me reacting to all of those episodes. I loved the series. I don't know if the guys have seen it, but I mean, I guess you're right because it's manga. We could bring it up and talk about it. I might even do that. We're taping today, so maybe I'll do just that. I'm also going to be talking about with Koi anyway, because I don't know if Winston watched it, but I started watching Gen V.
I saw that pop up and I want to know your
awesome.
thoughts. Good.
It's
okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I'm 3 episodes in. I love it.
Is it it's a superhero kind of a thing?
It's The Boys. It's a spin-off of The Boys.
Oh, okay, because it said from the makers, but I didn't know if it was a separate thing.
Yeah, it's like the
I mean, the imagery looked like it was.
It's the college kids.
Oh,
it's
yes.
Yeah, you'll love it. You'll love
good.
it.
We should have clicked on that one.
Yeah, it's great. And we'll talk about that more. But as far as One Piece, yeah, I guess I'll bring that up today with the guys.
One Piece went by too fast for me.
Yeah. I don't like what Netflix does. They should do it week to week.
Yeah.
I don't like that they do this the bulk thing. It sucks.
I feel like I'm gonna forget about it and then it's gonna come out.
Yep. All right. Corey Gallup, quick question. Who's doing farts in the fart tower? Well, the fart tower has been abandoned for many years. But you never know who's going to return to the fart tower. Sometimes they do. It's the saxophone player from Lost Boys. He's up there just farting into the microphone. All right. Keep them coming.
Hey, you keep them coming, then just throw the boys in and
that's it.
Just do a live show for 5-6 hours.
Well, I don't know if we have. I mean, we should do it. Yeah. What if we just transfer it over and just do that?
That would be great.
Soundwave Chronicles. Quantumania is mixed, but could age like fine wine. Do you think because Loki's too timely and Kang Dynasty could recontextualize and improve Kang's ending? Maybe. I mean, you guys haven't seen episode 4 yet. That comes out tonight, right? Yeah, tonight. It is Thursday. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, tonight. So you guys will see that tonight. And I ask me that question after you watch it.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk a little bit more.
Oh, because I've
seen 4.
Got it.
4. Are you caught up with that one yet?
I'm caught up. Yeah,
okay.
I just haven't.
You haven't seen 4 yet. Keep them coming. Thank you, guys. Mirror Domains. Freelance opens today. Can John Cena deliver laughs? I don't even know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No.
I'm not sure what that is. Freelance, I guess it's
I think John Cena's a funny guy.
He is. Yeah, he's been. I mean, Peacemaker was.
Oh yeah,
great. I think that's it. So we're gonna miss out on Koi and Winston.
Oh man, well. You guys, I'll tell them that you don't like them.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, guys, listen. Thank you guys for joining us here today. I want to thank all of you. I goofed, and I wanted to bring up the Patreon, you guys, up top. And if you're able to, and you want to check it out, it's patreon.com/thebigthingshow. All those different goals and everything we're working on. Remember both DraftKings and of course First Leaf. All the links are going to be in the description below. Thank you to Brett. Thank you to you guys. Thank you to everybody who's commented, anybody who put in a super chat, all that and more for joining us on the show today. If you're watching on the replay, throw those comments in there. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. We are very close right now, Brett. As I look, we are at 97,577 subscribers today. We are getting close. I think that we should be there by, I'm going to say mid-November, we'll be at 100.
I want to do that live show where we watch it.
Ticket. I know that would be good. I'm hoping that it doesn't happen at midnight, after midnight.
I mean, the midnight I could probably handle, or something,
something.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal.
If it's 4 in the morning, no.
Well, we'll see. We'll see where we're at that point. But we're getting there, and I want to thank all of you guys for helping us get to that goal. I appreciate it. Yeah, I saw Galagos. I didn't acknowledge it as much. The pizza reviews, we've done 2 of them so far. We're actually going to shoot another one tomorrow. Brett's going to come with us and help us shoot it, try to get the quality up a little bit more on the video and the audio. We're doing a place that I'm pretty excited about, so we'll have that up next week. I'm going to get another. I think I'm going to put this Loki reaction up. I'm going to see how it does. They haven't been doing very well, so I might just review them instead because it doesn't look like that people give a shit about my reactions on that particular one. But we'll see. Thanks for joining us here today on the channel. For Brett Sheridan, thank you guys so much. We will see you guys on the flip side. Appreciate you. Bye.